And I'm like, do you want to imply that the back pain I'm right now feeling is made up in my head? People said it was the gluten, it was the dairy, it was, spoiler alert, I'm eating everything again. Because I was like, okay, at age 32, your life is over. Start doing the healing work if you are feeling super stressed or if you are struggling with health issues, maybe chronic symptoms or chronic pain. I'm Tanja, and I'm really happy to be here today. I'm from Germany, from a village that has 700 people, and I'm probably one of the people that has traveled a lot of the world here. And yeah,
Awesome.
that has been a really interesting journey since 2017. I was working as a middle school teacher in Berlin. Hated it, knew before I wouldn't like it, and still did it, because I
Yeah.
was like, I went to uni for 5 years. I was like, I got to do something with that. Like, what would my parents say was like a really big narrative there as well. And I didn't want to disappoint. And in the end, I disappointed myself, and that was way worse. And then I disappointed them anyway, which was the best path I could have chosen. So, yeah, if anything to somebody that's listening out there that I want to tell them up front is disappoint other people and not yourself.
I love it. That's a brilliant life lesson. There's
Even if we don't want to do that intentionally, like, to hurt others either. Yeah.
no,
So
no,
that's the
not
start
not
of
to
the
hurt them,
story.
but to honor yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah,
like when you are in your like highest self or like you're your happiest, then I think you can bring so much goodness to the world and you also like you radiate just yeah, more optimism, more positivity, and you can give to each other to other people way more than when your cup is like running on like empty and fair enough doing a job you don't like. Because sometimes it's a pathway to doing something that you love and it supports
yes,
the dream, right? So
exactly.
I'm all here for that as well. But in my case, that was impossible because I had 60-hour weeks and I was highly underpaid and underappreciated.
That sounds so
And
much like so much joy being a teacher. I'm just so sad I missed out.
yeah, right? Um, yeah, it was like an internship you had to do in order to be able to work at public schools. It wasn't enough to go to uni for 5 years, and they don't really teach you how to teach at uni anyways. So
Hmm.
without wanting to criticize the system, I've made my peace with it. It took a couple of years, but it's still, yeah, it led to everything else. And I already had stomach issues like in my early 20s.
Hmm.
Had migraines when I was a teenager. So now looking back and all that insomnia and bloating I had when I was at that job as well in Berlin, like if you literally know you're going to teach the next day and you can't sleep because they're going to change their pants in the last row again or throw sharp items through your classroom or bring a knife. It's just not fun.
Yeah, that's not my experience of school. Getting picked on as a kid, yeah, sure, but not knives and sharp things, and yeah, that wasn't so much in my
No,
school.
it wasn't the
So
vibe where I grew up either. And it also wasn't really, I chose to become a teacher because I wanted to help people.
yeah,
And it just didn't feel like I was helping or making an impact. Or maybe I couldn't see it as well, but it was just tough because I'm great with little kids and not so much with teenagers. And it took a
hmm,
journey to learn that. But also saying that, I started an online business as a German teacher.
hmm,
And at the beginning, I had quite a couple of teenagers, and one I'm still teaching, and it's working so well. So if there's openness and people do want to be there and they have an interest in growth and in improving, even if it's, their German learning skills or other things, then I can do something. But for me, the nightmare is when I have to teach something that somebody is just not at all interested in and, like they don't want to be there.
yeah. I think that should be the same for anything. Like if somebody's not engaged, it's you might as well talk to a blank wall because
That's
nothing's going to come back. Like nothing's going to penetrate. It's they're closed off to any possibility.
Yeah. And I
So
think, with like the school system, it would be so much better if there would be a more free version where you meet people more where they are and in their interests. Because
yes,
I don't know how it was for you at your schooling, but like for me, I didn't have creative writing, I didn't have self-development, I didn't have all the things that I found out in my early 30s that I'm passionate about because they're not school subjects. Like even English speaking, learning languages. I was so passionate about it, but then not in the way it got taught at school, but in like real life, like the way I learned languages was living in the country, being immersed and having no other choice.
yes, yes. That's kind of where I'm at now, but I'm still resisting.
So how did you get to Brazil? I'm like really curious
Well,
if you want.
my close friend's been here for ages, and we've been talking about working together for quite a few years. And so at some point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not enjoying my life in Australia as completely as I think I can. And so I'm going to explore the world. I've always wanted to do it, but I wanted to raise my kids up to be old enough that they were on their own.
Right.
And they reached that age, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go. And so I went a little here and there, and I knew I was coming here in Florianopolis for at least a little bit. And
What's
I've
a
stayed. Sorry, go ahead.
What's a bit? I always like when people say, "Oh, I'll go for a little bit," and then you're like, "Okay, 2 years later."
Well,
What's a little?
it has been over 2 years,
Hmm?
um, and I don't have an end date. I never had an end date. It was
Beautiful.
I sold everything. I didn't have much, but I sold everything, and was like, I don't know if I'm going to be 3 months, 3 years, or 30 years, but whatever it is wherever it goes.
Wow.
So I'm still
That
on
is.
that. I don't know how long I'm going to be away.
So, what is it that you're doing there? I know you're interviewing me, but I'm just really curious. And since we're having a conversation,
Bring on the curiosity.
yeah.
I help people basically fix their subconscious beliefs. That's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. So anything where you're you're trapped in a belief cycle, your subconscious beliefs aren't matching your conscious reality, and there's tension and pressure through that incongruity. I can
Mhm.
help open a pathway in your subconscious to allow more congruency to direct your attention, your action towards the goals that you actually want instead of the
Mhm.
goals that your subconscious thinks you need to keep you safe. That's
Beautiful. So
that's the
that's almost
nutshell of it.
everybody out there.
Pardon?
That's almost everybody out there, I would say.
Oh, 100%.
Like I've been doing personal development work on myself for like
Mm,
over 10 years and with other people since 2020, I would say.
yeah.
And officially, because like, at first it's a family friend thing, and then you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. And I realized, um, like I was coaching and didn't even have a certification yet. And then I was like, ooh, I want to learn more about this. And then because like when you are teaching somebody a foreign language like I was doing, you're
Mm,
automatically also mentoring and coaching them. At least I am, because like people
totally.
come to me, their mom has Alzheimer's, somebody has passed away, like it's tough and you gotta hold space for that. And then you can be like, oh, let's do the German grammar. How do you conjugate that? And I usually just push that aside and was like, are you open? Would you like to spend the session and talk about this right now? And, we are not putting the focus so much on correcting the grammar. I will occasionally write something in the chat. So it's still German lesson and not like, therapy with Tanja, because you gotta have some boundaries as well. But back then, I wasn't officially coaching yet, so it was a bit different.
Mm,
And yeah, it was really interesting because I managed to bring both together, like the teaching and the mentoring and coaching parts, which is really important.
Mm.
And I'm curious, how do you help people with the subconscious beliefs? Because I know there's like so many modalities out there, and somebody like me that has done all the things for 10 years and is still holding a limiting belief. Like, what would you say is a good starting point?
I say for anybody watching, the good starting point is whatever feels like it resonates. Head towards that
Mm,
direction because there is so
mhm.
many modalities.
Yeah,
And my experience that got me to where I am, I tried a whole heap of things and a lot of them didn't work for me, whereas they might have worked for friends or family members or somebody that along the line has recommended them, but they didn't
yeah.
resonate for me. So my first thought for anybody watching would be if you're unsure of where to go, just look at a few things and see which one resonates, go towards that. For me, the main aspect I use is a process called Psyche.
Hmm.
And it's really about, it's a mix of energy healing, body positioning, breath work,
Hmm.
and a few other different things all combined together to basically speak directly to the subconscious instead of
Hmm.
speaking at the conscious level.
Hmm.
Um,
Beautiful.
and it works really well for me, and it works really well for a lot of people. But it's not the be all and end all. It's not the only thing that can work.
Yeah,
But for the right
there's so
people,
many
it works really
paths.
well.
Yeah, there's like my dad always says, there's different paths and roadways to get to Rome. You're in Germany,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
there's so many ways of going. Yeah, we do very similar work as well.
Yes.
And
So yeah.
it's
What is your method? What is it that you do? Like, expand on all of that,
yeah.
please.
So I'll go back a little bit first to my story because like this
Yes.
is how I got into it, and it all makes sense then, or more sense. So I had a couple of burnouts in my life. The first one when I was in Berlin, and I didn't even realize that I was burned out. I just felt very tired all the time, and I felt unmotivated, and I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, and like there were so many things happening, like the bloating all the time. I couldn't eat much. It people said it was the gluten, it was the dairy, it was spoiler alert, I'm eating everything again for like 3 years, and I'm all good, or even longer now. It was never the food. We have pretty good resources in Europe, so I can only
Yes.
speak for them, especially in Germany. And I developed chronic pain when I was in my first year of being self-employed. I was at first freelancing for an online language school, which I'm super grateful for. I was just, again, we see a pattern here. I was highly underpaid and highly overworked. And I
Mm-hmm.
was also very excited that I get to help people and I get to work again because I was backpacking for I don't know how many years. And I was in Australia and I did really all the things. I had a pretty good job in Australia as well in an office. Again, I had the IBS, the gut issues.
Mm-hmm.
And people kept saying, oh, if you like drop the job and you're gonna be fine. And actually that was the narrative because I was fine again in Germany. But then I went to Mexico and you could say it's the food, but it's actually not. And I had the bloating again and again. I couldn't eat anything and I got bloated from a glass of water. And I just got curious because I was like, huh, all this like all this is happening and I couldn't find a solution because like it wasn't readily available to me. Like it wasn't like I was around people that would tell me, hey, go explore mind body healing, or hey, what happened that was stressful in your life? Like what could be behind this? It wasn't, so
So
I can't really blame
you
myself.
didn't run in those circles of people thinking in those
No, I
ways. Yeah.
no, I got Reiki in Mexico from someone and that temporarily made it better,
Mm-hmm.
but not to the like it kept coming back because the root causes were not addressed. And
Yeah.
when I then in 2020 moved to Spain, and I was overworking. I was on 6 video calls a day, sitting all the time. I did not have office equipment. So I was like on a plastic chair, in my family's vacation apartment in Spain because it was pandemic times and I didn't want to live with random strangers anymore and
Mm-hmm.
wearing a mask all the time. I hated that. So, yeah, it wasn't a chair. it was not the lack of, comfort.
No.
It was actually that I was having different emotional issues that I just never addressed. I had a lot of stress that was pent up all over the years. I had overworking patterns, overgiving, pleasing people all the time, responding to emails and messages in bed. I was running two group classes a week, so I constantly was marketing all the time. Um, and
I'm
you know,
exhausted
it
just hearing it.
yeah, it was a lot. And I still pressured myself to go to the gym like 4 times a week because I was always feeling angry, but not consciously. It was all like
Internal
under,
body.
yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll go to the gym and I feel better, right? But it was actually a coping mechanism that made me even more sick because the
More burnt
intention
out.
behind it wasn't, oh, I'll sit with my emotions. I feel the anger in my body. I locate it. I let it be there. Maybe I press against the wall. So if you are out there, somebody that, is struggling with feeling anger,
Hmm.
because I'm great at crying and feeling sadness, but anger was something I had to learn. And that was one of the suppressed emotions that was all behind that.
Yes.
So the way it panned out was that I did a downward dog yoga pose on an online class with a friend in
Hmm.
yoga, and I had shooting pain into my bottom, and up from that moment on, I was somebody that was always in pain. And I did go to like
Whoa.
20 personal like physical therapists all over Spain. I went in Germany, I went to specialists, doctors, anybody you can imagine. And they said I had a structural issue in my hip that I had since I was born, and the doctors just didn't notice. Apparently, that's why I never crawled. Who go figure?
Okay. Cool.
And of course, I bought into that, right? I was like, "Oh, yeah, I gotta take care of my hip because like it's broken, right? Like it's damaged."
Well, an authority figure's telling you something. We often believe what we get told.
Yes, and I got told the doctor can make it all better when I was little, and that's the narrative that my family is still having, even after witnessing what I went through. But like, I just started to be like, okay, those people can't help me, and there were literally doctors sitting that said, we can't do anything for you. Like, this is how far we can go. And then I started noticing, I went to this energy healer and I started noticing that every time I went out, I was pain-free for like 5 to 10 minutes. And I was like, wow, what is he doing that gets me there? And how can I get myself there? And then I found this lady from Canada that was doing somatic healing. So this is like working with the soma, with the body, with body-based techniques, and
Hmm.
actually feeling the emotions in the body and letting them be there, witnessing them, getting curious. And she wasn't the person yet that told me that I was feeling in chronic pain because I had suppressed emotions and traumas. Like there was a course and I learned all these things, but it wasn't like, okay, this is what it comes down to. And at some point I was at like 50, 60% healing. I had worked with her and committed for almost a year, 9 months, 10 months.
Yeah.
And that was really key. I see a lot of people out there that they go from practitioner to practitioner and they throw healing spaghettis at the wall and see what sticks. And like you said earlier, that's why I asked you, like, what does somebody do that knows, they have limiting beliefs? Like, where do they start? And yes, look at 1, 2, 3 people and see who resonates most with you. Like, who lets you feel like you can exhale? Like, a lot of people say my voice is soothing, they feel really comfortable. I'm down to earth. They feel like they can show up in their PJ and not be judged and those kind of things.
They're really important. That would be
That's really
important for me
important.
if I was in that position. Absolutely.
Exactly, because it's a really raw and vulnerable situation. And what I was still missing was somebody that really got it. Because my practitioner back then, bless her, she's only offering in-person work now, and she's a nurse as well. But like, what was missing was that somebody that really went through what I went through. Because somebody that just had gut issues, no offense, can't relate as deeply. Because like I was bedridden, I was bad. And, I had
Yeah.
a long list of symptoms. I had bladder issues where you have to pee every 10 minutes and you have pressure on your bladder like a grandma. Like you can't be out, you can't do anything. It was the worst.
And this was from what
So
age?
that was so in 2021, I'm now 36. Oh my God, girls math. So 32, 33, 32. Yeah, I turned 33, 32. And that was going on for 2 years, which is pretty quick because in the first year I tried to find all those quick fixes and dry needling where they put needles in your muscle knots on your body. It hurt and it never worked. I went to the chiropractor, osteopath, anything you can imagine besides acupuncture. I hadn't tried that.
So you
So
sound like me. You're willing to try anything, and
anything.
you were scrambling to solve, and nothing much was
Yes.
working at all by the sounds of it, or at least
Yes.
only temporarily.
Yeah, I was desperate because I was like, okay, at age 32, your life is over. Like,
Ah, stuff that.
yeah, I'm just living from the sofa. Like and I was working still, right? I was
Of
working between
course.
my laptop and the bed. And I could have had the savings to take some time off. And, I really needed my practitioner to tell me you need to slow down. And I was resisting. I was like, nope, I need to make money. I need to do that. Like, I can't. That was like because I was so stuck in fight flight, which is like the stress response from the nervous system. And I was used to live in that because that's what I witnessed all my life from like caretakers, from parents, from family. Like, so there wasn't really the space of, when you're resting and your mom comes in and she says, "What are you doing right now?" Like that was like what I was experiencing. And also, one of my former clients as well told me the same thing. So it was really interesting. And at some point I sat on somebody's sofa that I had just met, a girl, and she also had low back pain and she didn't have her solved yet. And she said, "Hey, have you ever considered that this could be TMS?" And I'm like, "What's TMS?" And she said, "Tension myositis syndrome." And I'm like, "What?"
Okay.
Oh, it's when you had a lot of stress, trauma, suppressed emotions, and it's psychosomatic. And I'm like, "Do you want to imply that the back pain I'm right now feeling is made up in my head? Like I'm just imagining this?" And she's like, "No, the pain you're experiencing is real. You're really having that pain. But there's a disconnection, a neural pathway that keeps sending those signals to your brain and telling you that it's safer to send you pain than it is to feel suppressed emotions and deal with stress and personality traits like perfectionism, overachieving, and all these things." So I
Okay.
was like, "Ooh, this makes sense." And she's like, "Yeah, look into Chanzarno, Nicole Sachs." And I was like, I was a good student. And I started what I call writing therapy. They call it journal speak. It's by Nicole Sachs. And
Hmm.
you literally sit down and you do what they don't tell you in most of the personal development world. And you let out whatever it is that is bothering you, what is making you sad, angry, all the things. And you can also just complain on page. Get it all out. It's so
Get it
great.
out.
Get it out. Yeah, and you're supposed to do that 20 minutes every day. And this is why I call it writing therapy, because I have a little bit of a gentler approach. I don't
Hmm.
think that I need to do it every day for 20 minutes. I also did not. It's one of my favorite methods, but it was enough for me to do two, three, 4 times a week. Because if I did it every single day, it was just too much. I was
Yes.
like a little ball crying and I was so tense. And I had to build up that capacity in my nervous system that can feel again
Yeah,
because
that
we're
makes a lot
taught.
of sense because it's like you've got a pressurized bottle, like your whole body has become this pressurized vessel, and every time
Yes,
you find a way to relieve some of that stress, whether it's writing or whatever, like a little bit of that pressure comes out. But if you rip the whole top off, it'll be too much to handle. It's like
exactly.
it's too scary.
And also, yeah, and anything that is new is danger for the brain. So you gotta show your brain and also your nervous system, you gotta show it that it's safe to do something new. And this is great for anything new you do out there. Like, if anyone's listening to that and says, oh, I wanna start a business, for example. Well, be prepared because like all the things are going to come up and it's great because it's your teacher. So yeah, sending safety to the nervous system through like such simple things as, I'm orienting myself in the room. I check, okay, the window is closed. I can see all these things. And I just bring myself into the moment. And right here, right now,
Hmm.
there's no lion behind me. I don't need to run. I don't need to rush. I don't need to stress. I'm okay. Just for now.
So, all right, I want to expand on that part for people that are listening. So, if you're feeling like you know that you're feeling tension, so you're
Hmm.
feeling that lion behind you, to use your
Hmm.
words, what would be your exact process? You're already feeling it. How would you take yourself from that stressed situation to that calm place?
Interesting. So I wouldn't take myself to any calm place at all because
No?
that naturally is going to happen. Because the more I try to squeeze and pressure and push myself into feeling calm, the more I feel it's not happening and it's just more suppression. So the first thing I do, and if you'd like, we can do this right now, and the
Okay,
listeners
let's go.
can do a practice. So I'm inviting you to just look around in the room and make sure before we dive into a little practice that everything is in its place, letting sway your eyes lazingly. Like there's nothing to do right now, just be in the moment. Make sure everything is in its place. And then see if you can find something that could be a resource for the whole podcast. Maybe it's a candle that you love the color of, or it's a tree outside the window, or something completely different, a painting, an apple. Okay, I'm having a little green candle.
Nice.
And you just look at it for now, look at its shape, its color, and see what you notice in your body when you're looking at the item you chose, the apple. If that feels aligned, you can also touch it and feel what it feels like, the texture. And then once that feels complete, you can put it back in its place and slowly lower your gaze or close your eyes, having your hands on your legs. They can either point downwards if you would like to have some grounding, or upwards if you're ready to receive. Without overthinking it, just what comes to mind first. And then just observing your body, see where there's any tension or just any part that doesn't feel so good. And then you focus on that. If it's several parts, choose one that is the loudest. Just feeling the sensations. What is that feeling like? Maybe it's like butterflies or punch in the gut, or like ants crawling, or completely different tension. And then we just stay with it for a moment and observe it like a natural observer. See if there's a color, a message, some texture or sound, or something completely different. Just allowing it to be there and see if it wants to get bigger or smaller, or if it's changing when you witness it, or it's staying the same. There's no right or wrong. We're not forcing anything. And once that feels complete, see if you can find a space in your body, even it might be your tiny little finger or the tip of your nose, a space that feels neutral, comfortable, safe. And then doing the same, exploring it with curiosity, trying not to judge. See what the sensations are like that you're feeling. Does it feel spacious? Is there color, any pattern or texture, a message? And then see if it wants to expand. If not, that's okay too. Just allowing, focusing on that. Even the other areas in your body that might not feel as good might be calling your attention. You keep bringing yourself back to the part that feels neutral because the brain is often focusing on what's not working or what could be better. And then putting one hand on your heart, one on your belly, if that feels good. And just asking yourself what you need most in a moment. Is it a sip of water? Is it staying here for another second? Is it a self hug? Opening your eyes or something completely different? Whatever it is, if it's accessible for you right now, feel free to give that to your body. And then gently, without rushing, finding your way back. You don't have to come back to the screen or to the device right away, but you can orient yourself in the room, wiggling your fingers, just trying to find a natural way for you to slowly come back. I need water
Brilliant.
actually. The tea
Yeah.
isn't doing it. And for everybody listening out there, drink a lot of water. This is also a little bit of energy work, I would say,
Yes.
because, emotions are energy in motion. And we probably moved a couple of things here. How was your
Probably have.
experience you want to
That was really
share?
cool. Um, it was just it was just a new way for me to find curious presence.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's my favorite tool. They call it somatic tracking and orienting.
mhm.
I call it lazy eyes, like the first exercise. Because, like, where can you just daydream, and you're invited to do so, even.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I know a technique that's different but gets similar results. But I really love that because I mean, maybe it's your voice, as you said before. You do have a very calming, soothing voice, which is awesome. So I'm a fan. Um,
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, you're just there. You just fall into the presence. So even if you're
Yes.
like a little bit, that process just slowly just allows it all to melt away. I think is the best
And
way I can
that
put it.
is the magic of my medicine and the
Mm,
medicine I've got to experience. And it's something that is best to do in presence, like even online. I've worked with people in person too, but even online, because like you're right there. And sometimes people like to tell me what color, or I invite them to tell me, or some people they talk, and others they don't. I usually don't. It depends, and
yeah.
just having presence of somebody and being co-regulating because we take on other people's energies if we're not careful. But
Mm,
like that is really helpful. And having that container and doing it on yourself, like by yourself as well, practicing that is really where the magic happens because you can do this when not in when you're driving probably, but you can do this when you are a teacher and you have 2 minutes to go to the restroom, for example, or the kids are riding, or you have your own. Obviously, always make sure that other people are safe.
yes.
But it can be integrated in the supermarket while you might not want to close your eyes, but you can totally do the orienting and having those small pockets of connection throughout the day is really what helps you stabilize your nervous system and not pushing yourself out of something because we always make sure we feel whatever it is that's going on. And
Yes.
then you told me, how do you get to a calm place? Well, how do you feel now?
Calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very naturally, but sometimes people aren't feeling calm, and that's okay because feeling calm is not really the goal. The goal is to be with whatever is going on.
100% agree.
And when you learn to be with whatever emotion, whatever life is throwing with you, without trying to like frantically wanting to make it go away, then that shows your nervous system and your brain that it's safe to feel those things. And then it doesn't send pain signals anymore.
Yes.
And this is how people, not only pain, like I've had an autoimmune diagnosis as well. That's called lichen sclerosis. It's a skin issue. And I don't have any symptoms. And I've done it, I've healed it with this work. And healing is different for everybody. For me, at
Yes.
first, it was to be able to deal with it by like on my own and not put everything on my parents or my friends. Like, when you have an issue and you talk to everybody about it all the
Yes.
time. And it's like, ugh, you feel so stuck in it. But then if you work with somebody professionally and they hold space for you, then you have a container, you have an outlet, and it doesn't have to like swap over everything you do all the time.
Yeah.
And
For
that
for me,
naturally brings more like presence and stabilization and also the calm that you said into
yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah. For me in that space, when you talk about like sharing it with everybody and kind of feeling stuck, because you're sharing it but not actually fully embracing it and experiencing it, you're just feeding it. You're just
Yeah,
giving it more energy to cause more trouble. When you go to that professional, if you know how to get yourself to that place where you just feel it, experience it, and allow it to be, that's when it becomes inert because you stop feeding it the energy, the attention.
exactly.
You're okay with it. You're not fighting against it. When you fight against it, you feed it.
Yeah. And, even after all the work that I've been doing and after all these like years, sometimes I still fall into that.
No way.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
I know
I
it's
thought us
insane
healers were
because
meant to be perfect.
yeah, no, I thought like I mean I was trying to aim for that as well because that plays into like childhood stuff so perfectly. Um, but actually it's natural. Like we do, it's like a cycle. I saw this like what was it? Not a drawing, but like I'm missing the word.
That's all right. I don't have the right word for you either. So not a cartoon, not a little video, like
No,
a
it wasn't a video. It
diagram.
was something that was drawn, and there was like the something that is stressing you out or is triggering you.
Hmm.
And then having to learn that lesson, you go around and around and around, and each time you go around, it gets less that it kind of like bothers you. And it
Yeah.
takes it, I've read somewhere it takes like 7 times attempts to learn the lesson. I would say it takes more.
I would say
And
it
to
depends how
really like
stubborn the person is.
I'm very stubborn. Like, yeah, you know. I'm very patient as well with other people, but when it comes to yourself, that's not always so easy to take your own medicine.
We take ourselves so seriously.
Oh
That's
yeah, for sure.
so, with
Right.
somebody else, you can be gentle and kind and understanding. How often are we gentle, kind, and understanding with ourselves?
Yeah. And that's why, I sometimes catch myself in the moment or even someone else and I say, why are you talking to somebody that I love like this? And I've heard this the other day on a podcast. I don't remember what it was. But it was really profound because yeah, like you would never talk to yourself like that if it would be your best friend.
No, no way.
Absolutely not. Yeah, exactly. So I always like even one of my therapists I worked with this year, as I ongoing always do things.
Hmm.
And um she said, "Oh, what would you tell a client of yours?" And I was like, oh, this is a really good one. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't beat the person up. She hasn't done enough or whatever. I would be like, oh, take a break, put it on a back burner and come back to it.
Relax. Like,
Yeah, relax. You Australians are so good at that.
we have to have some expertise in something. Why not? Running away from dangerous animals and relaxing. That's it. That's what we do.
Right? Yeah. So good at it. Yeah. Dangerous animals. I didn't see that many when I was in Australia.
It's all a fur fee so that we can keep the Australian beaches a bit less crowded.
Right. You're
Yeah.
doing so good at that. Yeah.
Did you hear about drop bears when you were in Australia?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a whole nother thing. I'm going to let you research drop bears. You were
Okay.
lucky. That's all I can say. Is you were lucky.
Oh, I was lucky.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah.
good.
So look that one up later, or I'll
I
I'll,
will.
I'll remind you at the end of this.
Yeah, remind me of the at the end that I can write it down for sure.
Okay. With all that said, all right. So you've gotten to a place like in your story, you'd gotten to a place where you started to deal with some of your issues.
Yes.
Um, is there more to the story? Because we kind of cut that halfway off with my silly question. Um,
Oh, no,
is there
that's
more
okay.
to
That
that
was a really
story?
good. That was a really good question. I feel like I got really like shown from the universe. Might sound woo-woo, but at the right time in my life, I got shown who to work with, what to do.
Hmm.
And some of the things got me to where I needed to be, and others also did that because they didn't work.
Yes.
So it was really part of the journey. And, as painful as it was when Western medicine tried to close their doors all the time to me and weren't able to help me,
Hmm.
it was literally what got me here. And now, even with the ankle injury I recently had, walking down the stairs in Italy,
You just
um,
twisted your ankle.
I just twisted my ankle. Yeah, I was too fast, too ex like very excited, and I had a really 12 out of 10 day. And I had my jacket, I had my backpack, I was like loaded,
Yeah.
and probably also a little bit in a rush, not present enough, and bam. And also, I was ignoring my intuition for a while because I was like, am I going to go to Argentina or not? Going back and forth. And if you doubt something all the time, there's something in there. If
Yes.
it's 80% doubt all the time, then it's like
There's a
asking
reason.
yourself, do I love this person or not? Like if you keep asking yourself that, you
You don't.
don't. And I had to learn that this year too. And you know, without wanting to go too deep into it, but some people we love as friends and some people we love
Yeah,
as romantic partners or different. So
exactly. And
there's all these
there's
different
nothing wrong with
layers to
that.
it, but it's so important to listen to yourself and listen to your own intuition. And I think that was really the message for me this year. And if you don't, then the universe gets louder and louder and louder until you listen.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
What's your, when
even
do you know your intuition is speaking to you?
when it's a calm, like kind of like a nudge instead of a I'm going into the past and I'm worrying about it and oh my God, that kind of vibe. And also when something is massively very difficult all the time, then it's either a sign that it's not for me yet,
Hmm.
or it's a sign to pivot. Like there's always something in that.
Yes.
And yeah,
So
it
when the
makes sense to
resistance
me.
is
Sure.
overwhelming,
Yeah.
or just that, like, wait, come on, do that thing. Okay. Do you feel it in your body for yourself? Like, do you?
Yeah, definitely. I got invited to Slovenia for Digital Nomad Week. That's actually happening right now, and I really wanted to go, and I had confirmed. And the next day, I was like, I'm gonna feel into my body about this. And because I had a period after, like, where I was listening to a lot of outside voices and
Hmm.
not to myself too enough, I the only thing I felt was my shoulders were softening when I thought about staying here instead of going
Uh,
to Slovenia. So I was like, ooh, my body doesn't want to go.
yeah.
And it was just like this subtle softening. That was it. And on paper, I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, like change, like a plane, 3 buses with a sprained ankle. I can't ignore my body. I would have done it in the past.
Yeah.
Like I had a similar injury in Australia back then, and it was way worse, and it took a whole year to heal because I was silly and under 30, and I went out and partied on it. I would not do
You
that
gotta
anymore.
live.
So yeah, um, that's how, and then also science, right? Like there's so many different ways you can access your intuition. You can feel it, and for everybody, it's a little bit different. What really helped me is, yeah, to listen to my body, like to listen to lay in a silent meditation. So
Hmm.
no podcast, no leading, nothing. And steadying yourself, grounding yourself with your breath, and then just releasing that question and see what comes up,
Yes.
what you can feel in your body. But also, when I didn't know where I wanted to go next in 2023, because I've been a digital nomad since 2020.
Hmm.
So I worked from like different places all over the world, and I was coaching, especially women with chronic illness and burnout recently as well, to overcome that, to feel like themselves again, to get the normal lives back. And it's been a really beautiful journey. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. I was too busy thinking about, oh, I want to ask you all these questions about travel now because I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah, I love
So
travel. I love travel. And a lot of people that come to me or, feel attracted to my content, they love the travel part as well.
yeah, yeah. So the clients that I can't remember what we were talking about. I'm really sorry. That
Oh,
makes me a
now I
bad
remember.
podcast host. But, oh, good. I'm glad you're on the ball.
I remember now. So I wanted to say that I was deciding where I wanted to go next, and like that craving for physical home has been real for me, and I'm still figuring this one out and maybe creating something around it. But like I laid in silent meditation for like 3 or 4 days, and one of my like energy people that I work with, let's say, or I worked with in the past, where I got a tarot card reading.
Hmm.
She said she recommended that. And it was a beautiful reminder in 2023. And I did it for 3 days. And on the third day, I heard some kind of voice. Still don't know. Could be the universe, could have been my higher self. Somebody said, Bariloche, Bariloche, Bariloche. And I was like, where even is this? And I went out
Awesome.
of the meditation. I Googled it. I was like, that's way too far. That's way too complicated to get there. I was like, yeah, no. And then the
Where is
next
this
day,
place? What?
I'll tell you in a second. And then the
Okay.
next day, I had a comment from an acquaintance from Argentina. And she said, Argentina 2024. And I was like, nah, like Argentina, I never considered. It doesn't have nice beaches. I was really into beaches. But I also got sick of like the heat in Spain because I was temporarily living there as well, on
Hmm.
and off for 5 years. And I was like, I want a new start. I want something new. Ooh, it's a mountain place. Wow, it looks beautiful. It looks like Switzerland without the prices back then. And it was, really good time to go to Argentina. It was really affordable. And I found that same day I had that comment from that friend on Instagram. I found out that there's a cruise from Marseille in France to
Hmm.
Buenos Aires for 720. I'm not advertising this because it
Bargain.
doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was a relocation cruise, so they bring the ship back, and it was great.
Hmm.
I was my me moon. I wanted to do something like that again, anyways, by myself because before I did it with my ex-boyfriend, and it was time to have my own honeymoon, me moon. So it was a beautiful journey, and I was right. Like I got off the plane there, and I was like, wow, I'm right where I'm meant to be. And I tried to get back there this year, and hasn't happened yet.
Not yet.
Uh, not yet, not yet, no. But it's my dream place, and it's yeah, a message to you out there that the answer you're looking for, it truly is within you. And it's just cluttered by fears, by societal conditioning, by voices outside. Like we consume so much. The news. Um, if you're learning chunky like me, then you know what I mean, like doing the next course and improving and doing this and that. And sometimes the true work is just to come back to yourself, come back home to yourself and connect with yourself and listen to yourself.
Yeah. I think you
And I
make a
would
great
say you
point.
can solve a lot of issues like that.
I think a lot of us can get stuck in a pattern of trying to learn, trying to be better, trying, and that is a trap all of itself.
Yes. Very
Whereas,
popular one in the wellness space
oh,
as well.
yes, yes, very, very popular. But you're right. When we are at, from my way of thinking, when we are closest to being our true selves is when we are completely present in whatever the moment is. We're not worried about the
Yeah,
past. We're not looking into the future. We just are in that space. And if we could get more present more often, we wouldn't have these worries anyway. They would disappear.
exactly.
It's easier to say than
Exactly.
do, but
Yes. But
yes, I mean, if you're out there and you're constantly learning new things, take some time. Do the
you
silent
gotta
meditation.
integrate.
Do whatever else works because yeah, there's a lot in just pulling away and just being for a while. Love it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Um, Now for you, do you have a
Ooh,
favorite kind of client, like somebody that when you work with them, you're just
yes.
like excited and wow, like what
Yeah.
sort of person really excites you to help them to work with them?
I love easy clients. So, easy doesn't mean the work is easy that we do together.
Hmm.
Not at all. But it is somebody that respects my boundaries.
Yep.
Love that. And they are generally overachieving women, sometimes also men. I do work with men as well, but 80% of my podcast listeners and community and all the things are usually women.
Hmm.
So I love, especially recently, working with women entrepreneurs, the overachievers, the moms, the people that are on the go all the time, rushing
Yep.
around, doing all these things. And yeah, I love to help people chill out. I
So
think this is something that I deeply had to learn, and that's still my ongoing journey. But like, I'm great at helping people have more self-care, in the sense of, not the bubble bath necessarily, unless that's your vibe. But even,
mm,
I'm not a mom yet, but I've been au pair for many, many years and worked with kids, so I can emphasize. And I love to help them to feel more present. And that way they don't yell back at their kids, but they can hold space for them having their tantrum, and they can hold space for them crying and holding their emotions instead of saying, hey, stop crying, which is also fair enough. But it does create things and issues later. So
yeah,
my one of my recent former clients was definitely, I mean, all of them are dream clients, really. Like, it's really rare
yes,
that I attract somebody where I'm like, "Ugh," like it's maybe 0.5% or something.
that's
So
great.
really, really low, really, really low. And she also shared with me that her business exploded recently. So she did all the things. She had strategy, the marketing, she had all the business coaches that charged, I don't know what crazy amounts, I would say, 5 times as what I charge. And yeah, she wasn't able to get there. And with the work that we did together, where she learned to take better care of herself, which also felt good because she didn't feel good when she wasn't able to take care of herself and was
Yeah,
just catering to other people's needs all the time. So, yeah, my work is for people that are overworked, burnt out, and or they have chronic issues. They might even not know it yet, but if you're somebody that has hives that are itchy once a week, or you have the occasional migraine also every 2 weeks or once a week, or you soothe yourself at night, sometimes with weed, and you want to get off that, those are my clients, I would say.
yeah,
And I love working with them. And I love working with people that take action. So
yes.
they do the things, not perfectly, aiming for a B minus. 70% is enough. And, or, even less, like even if you do half of the things that you said you're
It's
going to
still
do,
making progress.
yeah, you'll make a lot of progress. So, yeah, I love to work with those people, especially. That's really
And
fun.
the chronic pain one is really,
Mhm.
really interesting to me. I get the type of pain and the type of issues that you were going through as you
Yeah.
described them. I can understand how the mind is misinterpreting. So if you can kind of address that connection issue, you can start to
Mhm.
relieve the symptoms and not feel not feel the pain as much, or maybe not at all. Are there
Yeah, the
limits?
goal
Are
is
there
not feel it at all anymore.
that would be the best.
The
I'm down for
hives
that.
go away, that is the goals. And
Mm,
usually the people that I work with, when we work together, 6 months now, it used to be 4 months. Usually when I check in with them, sometimes it goes away while I work with them. I had people heal in 6 weeks, like not having any symptoms at all anymore. I had a teenager that was my client that had really mysterious foot pain, and it went away in like four to 6 weeks. And we still had time to go in our container, um, which was great
hmm.
because, like, we could work on other things and prevention as well. But even when people don't completely get rid of the symptoms while we work together, I
Hmm.
check in with them a year later, approximately, or even half a year later, and they don't have the same issues anymore. So I had a client that had bladder issues, and she was a little bit frustrated, and I felt like it was hard to take her all the way,
Yes,
because some people you get to 50% and then that's it. That's what they're open to. And she didn't have the bladder issues anymore that she had when she came to me. So it was definitely,
that's awesome. So yeah, it doesn't
definitely
all have to happen
worth
in
it.
the moment, but it's
No,
it's getting the
it's,
momentum.
yeah, the skills and the medicine I teach people, they can use for like a lot of things in their life that are going wrong. Like, having issues with a husband, not being able to go to the gym. You signed up and a year later you're like, oh, I spent like $1,000 or something and I just never went.
Sounds like my
Let's
gym
address
memberships.
that. Like is what's your why there? Like let's work with that one.
Yeah,
So, that's also something that it's a lot of habit creation, I would say, but small habits. It doesn't have to be that 2 hour meditation. I do not believe in needing so much time every day.
no,
So that's why I love to work with busy people or, even like just people that have a lot of things to do and making their life easier.
fantastic. On the back to the chronic pain stuff, are there
Mhm.
limits of what you can help with? So are some chronic
Mhm.
pains beyond the scope of what we can deal with our
Okay.
mind soul connection?
So I would say that I don't want to say a percentage, but a really big part of chronic issues have a mind-body part.
Hmm.
There are people out there that say autoimmune needs a combo approach. So my work, mind-body healing, and Western medicine, for
Hmm.
example. Sometimes with the doctor, you can wean off, maybe potentially the medication as well. I would always be like, outsource that one. Especially, I had also somebody that was on anxiety medication and wanted to get off of the anxiety medication. I would be like, okay, talk to your doctor about that. Tell them
Yeah.
the kind of work you're doing. We're working on the tools, but the doctor has to make those decisions. So I would
Yes.
definitely outsource that. And the limits, I would say, okay, so if somebody is missing an arm, for example, I can't visualize the arm there. Like
Yeah.
I can help you deal with not, like the emotions that are coming up around that and the difficulties.
Yes.
And, like, but
But the
you
phantom
can't,
pains and things like that, not necessarily.
exactly. So, or something that you're born with. If you're born
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
that is where I would say are the limits. And
Hmm.
I also got asked, about the big C word, cancer.
Hmm.
And there are sources that say that, it's suppressed anger, it's suppressed emotions, it stems from different lifestyle factors, diet. Like there's like so much information out there. And I would always, if somebody like that would come to me, I would always inspire them to listen to their intuition. I can't make them do anything, but what I love to do is asking them, okay, have you had all the scans? Like in general, if somebody just comes to me with mysterious symptoms and they don't know what's going on,
Hmm.
I always say, okay, have you had all the scans? You went to, I don't know how many doctors you can go to. There comes a point, like in my journey, where I'm like, okay, I'm done.
It's not working.
Like I'm not going to the urinary tract doctor because like what is he going to find? I truly believe that it's not just a physical issue.
Yeah.
And I already saw so many signs. And there's also a list that I have and a post on Instagram that is way, way down where it says signs. This could be a mind-body condition. And then almost every chronic condition, unless potentially you're born with it, but then we could also discuss that, like you feel the emotions and the stress and all the things your mom has been through when you're already in her belly. So,
Yes.
like it's just energetically ancestral, like there's so much happening. So I
100%.
believe that with health issues that there is a mind body aspect and not all the conditions are going to be solvable with what I do.
No, I mean, it makes sense, but it's like you can still impact what it means and have impact on somebody's life, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get to that place which is ideal, which is they no longer have the issue at all anymore.
Exactly.
But that's great.
Fibromyalgia, for example, like, the
Mm,
conditions that I've experienced myself or I have seen clients heal, I'm very confident to say, listen, this is healable. Like, this is just Such a classic. And also, like, you can look at those studies where it says, oh, somebody's 70, and it's a percentage of people that have like a bulging disc issue. I think it was 70% or something like that.
Hmm.
And they are asymptomatic. So they have a bulging disc, but they don't have the pain.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So there are a lot of structural issues out there that are actually not a reason for having pain.
That's
Like our
funky.
body can balance a lot of things. Like my leg, one leg is a little bit shorter than the other one, and they always said I need to wear like certain shoes or whatever. I'm not. Like my body always wants to heal. Like the body always wants to get into balance no matter what's happening.
Yeah.
And what I said before is like even if I can help somebody deal with what's going on and with the health issues in a way that makes them feel better and the people around them, then that's great too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's, don't know what I'm thinking there, but yeah, it's not always about having to reach a specific end result. It's just steps
Exactly.
along a path
Yeah,
and improving life and finding more joy in life and taking away, well, releasing some of that angst, pain,
exactly.
stress, anger, whatever it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Like finding joy in life again, I think that's such a good one because when you're bedridden and stuck in bed, everything revolves around your health. So
Yeah.
if you can even for a minute enjoy something else that makes you feel good, then that's great.
Oh, just it just breaks the pattern. Like I said, even if it's for a
Exactly.
minute to start with, it just breaks the
Yeah.
pattern.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. So when I think of people that I know that have had chronic conditions,
Mhm.
now I haven't had them, so I'm coming from a place of ignorance to a great extent. So take that on board.
Or not, you
You're
know.
you're not, but I feel like I'm coming from a place of ignorance as far as chronic pain or anything is concerned. But from the people I know that have it, there's a small percentage that seem to want it. They seem to want to identify as being that pain, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Is there a, I guess if they're not ready, they're not going to be able to change, are they? It's about that simple.
I mean, I didn't want to identify with chronic pain, honestly. I called it my body situation for a whole year because
Hmm.
I didn't want to be that person that has chronic pain. Then I came to a more of an acceptance story, and I embodied the identity way too much. And then, we can also call it health issues. Like one thing I help people with is acceptance. And another thing I help people with is to find a word that feels good for them to relate to. So for me, I quickly ditched that chronic pain identity, like after like 6 months probably. And I said to every new person I met, I either said I'm on a healing journey or I didn't tell them anything about my health. And
Yeah.
whenever I had to go rest, especially, when I was like on a trip or relocating, because I still sometimes did that, I would just tell them, oh, I'm gonna go rest. I'm tired. I was just tired. That felt more neutral, and I
Yeah.
didn't fe keep feeding that identity. But yes, I agree with you. People have to like notice that they need help and that they don't want to be in that situation anymore. And that's for anything you're struggling with in life, really.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Like that awareness that you have an issue and you might not identify with chronic pain. I have this all the time, and people come to me anyways. Like they're exhausted all day, and I can call it something different. I haven't found a better term yet. So sometimes, I just tell them stress. Like that's
Yeah.
more, people are more open to that than when I tell them, well, suppressed emotions,
Yeah. But
I
it's
hear
the
that.
identification with that label. And so it sounds like
Exactly.
your release point was reframing your label.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the point where it started to change because you started
Yes.
feeding. I'm on a health journey. I'm just a bit tired. It wasn't, like I
Yeah.
said, it's very neutral or positive even. Like I'm on a health journey is I'm basically telling yourself I'm getting healthier.
Yeah,
I'm tired is
exactly.
just I'm tired.
Yeah, that's
So
it. And for somebody that, has chronic fatigue, I'm tired, could be triggering because they take that as their identity. So we can find
yes.
something else. But the most important thing is that, like I have to pick people, or I love picking up people where they are, and this is where the teacher in me comes in. Because like I have a gift and I can see, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's the problem, and I can quickly realize what the person can already receive and what they can't yet. So I
Hmm.
can't force somebody to visualize themselves healthy when they're literally stuck in bed and it feels like a lie. That is a
Yes.
journey. I could not see myself doing that. And this is where show dispenser is not picking people up. Joe Dispenza, for example, yeah, like it made it feel worse for me. Or there's
Yeah.
other people that say, oh, it's a lack of self-love, and then people blame themselves. Please don't blame yourself. Like it's not your fault.
Blame doesn't help. Even if
No,
you go with the interpretation that it is a lack of self-love, if you can put it in that aspect, blaming you for that can't solve it.
no,
It's yeah, yeah. For me, I've done a bit of research. Like self-love is it's basically interlinked with self-worth.
yeah,
And so if somebody had a self-love issue, it's it's just a perception, and it's okay, and it's okay to feel that way. Own that you feel that way, and be present to it, because then, like the emotions we talked about before, like that, the somatic looking around thing. Sorry, I can't remember the name. I'm bad with names.
lazy
Um,
eyes.
that one. If you're present to what is, and if what you're feeling is that, just being present with it and accepting it means that it's become more neutral. And so you're not judging it anymore. And so then
Yes.
you can start to move from that. So if you are caught in a loop of self blame, using your technique or many others that are out there
Yeah,
to
pausing.
just get present can start to get you out of that process.
Yes.
Because just telling somebody
Pausing.
not to blame yourself doesn't stop them blaming themselves.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't work. I've tried it myself on a few different things. It hasn't worked yet. So
No, no, hasn't worked yet for me either. Um, yeah, I
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to change tack for I don't know what reason, but I want to talk about your travel just because I'm fascinated with
Travel.
travel. So,
Okay.
what is it that drives you to travel as much as you do?
Whew. That is an interesting loaded question. So back then I think it's curiosity.
Mm,
Like I love like that's part of the truth, right? Like this is so layered. There's a part of me that really loves new beginnings and is the queen of new beginnings. And then also I love languages. I love meeting new people. I love getting a glimpse of some like how somebody lives. Like when I visit a friend abroad, I
hmm.
just love hanging out with, if it's possible, in their daily life. They don't
Yep.
have to show me like all the sights. I mean, that's cool too. But like for me, it's just interesting their routines. Like I feel like I can learn something from everybody I meet.
Yes.
There's always, and then food. I love food, like Mexico, for example. I would just fly back to Mexico to eat a taco right now. Like that's a problem as well. And
Oh,
then what also was a strong why for me was I noticed that the country I was born in, Germany, is not really for me. Well, that's what I thought back then. This might
hmm.
be changing. Like absolutely loved it when I was here for a bit before I got here this time.
Hmm.
So it was also this quest of, okay, when I first started traveling, it was this quest of who am I really? What is my purpose? And where would be a better fit for a home for me?
Yes.
And then sometimes it was also escapism, which is hard to
I'm
admit
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to be
because
curious about that.
there's discomfort, right? So it could be winter, which I don't mind at all anymore, really. I mean, it's gray here, but it is what it is. Doesn't really bother me as long as I have my sauna. I like things. Yeah, because like for mental health, like you gotta do something. You gotta get fresh air anyways, even if it's raining outside or gray or whatever. But yeah, escaping discomfort, after a breakup, why not move countries? I literally said this in before the pandemic started at the beginning of 2020. I was like, why not move countries? Like moving cities? No, let's go to another country altogether. And
Yeah.
my friend and me, we did it. I was like definitely before I got into my healing journey from my health issues that I had. So I just recently, I mean, I've noticed this on different layers a couple of times that like a guy in a hostel a couple of years ago also asked me, "What are you running from?" And I almost got upset. I was like, "What do you mean?" But he made me think. And I always remember, and I had conflict with my parents when I quit my job, so that was also a reason. I did want to improve my Spanish. I always wanted to get more fluent in Spanish. There's just so many layers to this that I
There is.
love when I'm sitting on a bus and I see the landscapes changing and I see the locals come on the bus and that different lifestyle. And also it made me so appreciate for having central heating here, for example. Like, in some countries in Latin America, you don't have central heating. If you're
No.
lucky, you have wood or you freeze. I've been there and it's not comfortable. Like Cusco, 0 degrees out at night, no heating. So yeah, that is probably why I
Yeah.
travel so much.
It's a bit
And
curiosity, a little bit running away, and a whole heap of other stuff mixed in there.
yeah, there's a lot in it. And it was definitely a journey all these years to realize that. And like I already was tired in 2020 probably and wanted to have a home. And I tried in Spain, I tried really hard. Too hard. So it really, some places energetically, I truly believe they're not meant for us. And it's hard to
Okay.
make things work there.
Yeah.
And the more you push, the less it's gonna work out. Because like I thrive in an environment where there's other entrepreneurs, there's people that are single, because like I am too. So, I like to hang out and do things, and people that are married and have kids, they are very
It's
busy
it's a very
all the
different
time.
lifestyle.
It's a very different lifestyle. So, you spend a lot of time with yourself, which is great, but there's only that much Tanya that I want to handle.
Oh, come on now. Be nice to Tanya. Jeez, that's just not on.
Yeah, for sure. But like, we're made for connection without
Yes.
wanting to sound like not codependency, but like humans need other humans to connect.
Yes.
So over time, if you just by yourself all the time, it does get a little bit samey.
It
That's what
does.
I wanted
It
to say
does.
with that. And also it's not great for your health either. Like that's one of the reasons why, old people or older people, seniors that come into like a seniors lodge and they're away from their families, they decline.
Yeah.
And
They're
there's a reason why in the blue zones where people are outside a lot and they have community, they live longer. So, there's something to it.
yeah, well,
Um,
there's a purpose in connection. So when we are connected, there's more
yeah,
purpose. It doesn't have to be this big, I'm going to change the world kind of purpose, but
exactly.
it's, I just want to see Harry tomorrow and see how his day's going, see if he's got his newspaper, whatever. It could be something tiny, but
Yeah.
all those
Or
tiny
just
connections add up to something big.
Yeah, and what I loved about Argentina was that they have the mate tradition, which is this like green tea that you drink and you
Mm.
keep filling it up with water. And they just come by and they're like, "Hey, I'm in front of your house. Are you free? Should we drink mate? Are you gonna make lemonade?" Like, it's great. It gets taken used to, but like that spontaneity, like I had to learn how to flow there. because people
Yes.
don't make plans on a Wednesday for the weekend. But I literally sat there on a Saturday and I was like, however this goes is fine.
Yeah.
And sometimes I spend it on my own. I had beautiful nature all around me. So I went on a lot of walks, on a lot of hikes, and that was really helpful. Because, yes, in order to connect with other people, you got to be fine also on your own. I do. I do get
Yes.
that.
Yes. If you need to connect to a level because you can't stand being around yourself, then that's not helpful for anybody because
No,
that is codependency at that point.
exactly. And the situation that I'm encountering here, being back in my country, being healing my ankle and things like that, is that
Mhm.
a lot of people have set up their life, and I'm in transition. I'm like always like moving, figuring things out, pretty creative as well. So it's even more important to find those outlets, and that is just a little bit easier when travel is something that you have in common with people. I feel
Yes.
like people might be a little bit more open-minded because they've been out of their comfort zone, and that really helps me. So it's interesting that we both have that in common.
It is. Sorry, I've got a bit of noise coming through from somewhere nearby.
No, that's okay. That's Brazil.
It's very much like Argentina in that case. Like, whatever. Time doesn't make any sense around here. It's like
No, no.
there's no
And
such
it's
thing as on
island
time.
life. Yeah,
A week late is still on time. It's like, yeah.
that's right. Which part are you like in Florianopolis, if you
So on
share?
the island of Florianopolis, I'm in a little
Yeah.
town called Sambaki,
Oh,
which
no
is on
idea
the
where's that.
west coast of the island. It's just this tiny little fishing village, and it suits me to the ground. It's probably not the
Wow.
best beach in Florianopolis. There are some amazing beaches here, because I know
Right.
you're a beach lover. Um,
Used to be. I'm more of a mountain lover, but I still like the beach.
ah,
I
yeah,
just don't like the tropical heat. I think since I've been on a healing journey from the chronic pain, I am just way better when I have seasons and it's not too hot. It's more like forever spring. That would be
yes.
ideal.
Okay, spring chaser. Just need
Yeah.
well two homes, southern, northern, done,
Yeah.
sorted.
That, yeah, I'm not too sure about all that yet, but I'm sure it's going to evolve. And I want to create something around that as well,
Oh,
around
what is
how
it
it,
that you
because
want to create?
there's a lot of out there how to become a digital nomad, but there's no how to unnorm it.
How
How
to
to
unnomad?
actually, yeah, how to actually choose, like when you are in that very privileged position where you can choose where you want to live.
Mm,
I'm not sure what I'm going to create with it yet. Maybe a podcast episode on my own podcast. Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but something
that's
will
cool though.
come.
But you feel like you're at that point where you're about to unnomad yourself.
Slowly but surely, yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be testing different home bases, I think. I mean, one attempt was Argentina, maybe later again.
Give it a try. It wasn't
And
for
then
right now at the very
um,
least.
yeah, something within Europe potentially. But maybe, the decision will just get made guided by the universe again. Who knows? I'm
Maybe.
open to
Well,
it.
you might just have to come to Florianopolis, visit me for a while I'm here, and who knows?
Right?
You might like it here.
Yeah, I've been there before, so
Ah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a good place, but
it
it's
is.
still not the end place for me.
Oh,
It's just a step
interesting.
along the way. I don't know where the hell the end place is, and that's half the fun.
Okay. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're still staying. That's great.
What was that? Sorry.
Like instead of like trying different places, you're still staying in Florianopolis while it's being open. So it doesn't have to
There's
be the end goal. I love that approach.
yeah. I don't have timeline. It's just I'm here. There's something I've been learning while I'm here. Um, about it was about expectations and
Mm.
where I sit with them. So that there's been a lot of learning that I've done while I'm here, and I needed to be here for it. And I don't know what happens to me from here, but I'm willing to just go with whatever works. because I feel
Yeah,
like
what
that
happens
lesson
for
has
you?
been learnt, it's been absorbed, and now it's okay. Now I'm free to move when I choose to from here.
Great.
Yeah,
Love
so that's
that.
been pretty cool. All right, I have a couple of questions for you. I'm stealing a little bit from actually. Before I go there, is there anything else? Is there anything about your work that you would really love to tell the viewers that we haven't touched on so far?
I'd love to tell them that there will be a link in the show notes, I
Oh, heck
think,
yeah.
about the pain relief starter kit, and it describes really well how to start doing the healing work if you are feeling super stressed or if you are struggling with health issues, may it be chronic symptoms or chronic pain. And yeah, I'd love to get that out to as many people as I can. To be transparent, you will be on my email list. I don't spam. I send like one or two emails a week, and
Hmm.
they're more like healing letters, and that's also how I call it.
That's
So
awesome.
there's, yeah, that's probably all.
Excellent. Yeah, look
I'd
down
love to
below,
get out to
guys.
as many
All the
people.
information's there. Um, I can tell if you've done that process that we did halfway through, you'll know if Tanya's work is for you or not. And if that resonated,
Exactly.
definitely link down below.
And hopefully
Um,
you did it. Otherwise, you need to go back because, like,
yeah,
when you do the work, nothing
stop being a
changes.
slacker. Get back and do it.
Get back and do it. Exactly.
Now, I have a couple of questions for you. So, my first one is if somebody watching this podcast could introduce you to anybody in the world, who would you want to communicate with? Who would you want to get in touch with?
Wow, that's such a good question. Tony Robbins
Okay, cool. If
would
anybody
be
knows
great.
Tony Robbins, link it up, make it happen.
I'm aiming big there.
Aim wherever you want
Or
to aim. That's the whole point.
just also people that are into nutrition, are into health, like they want to collaborate with me, for example.
Hmm.
That would be really fun. Even business coaches who are like, oh, my clients, they're struggling with self-care, so that would be great. If I could have dinner with anyone, maybe Obama or Michelle would be
Oh,
great.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And yeah, like I love Tronzano. Like, his legacy, his medicine is would highly influence me, and he's not with us anymore. But if I would have had the chance, then I'd go back and meet him,
Definitely,
say thank you. But I think with the work I do and also the work that Nicole Sachs does and we do together, I think we're in a good path there. But yeah, I'm always happy to, collaborate with like other yoga teachers or other coaches or people that have, I don't do the nutrition part unless it's intuitively. So
hmm.
if somebody out there does that,
I think
that
that
would be
would be
helpful.
if somebody likes your field and is in the nutrition space. I could see that being an amazing connection because that would be an
Yes.
even more holistic aspect for people going through chronic pain and those related issues. So yeah, if anybody there feels
Yeah,
it,
or anyone
jump
that
on.
anyone that does business intuitively, I think that would also speak to me as well to talk about.
Excellent. That's cool. Okay, my next one is I've stolen this from I think Diary of a CEO, where I get the last guest to ask a random question, just because I love the
Hmm.
idea. And
Okay.
you've got a humdinger of a question coming for you. What is
Oh.
the meaning of life? They started off with just a simple, easy one.
Oh, I need to like have a sip of
Take your
water.
time. Yeah, yeah. There's no hurry.
The first thing that came to me, the meaning of life is to do good in the world.
Awesome.
Like leaving a place better than you found it if you can. A
Yeah,
person, a
yeah.
thing.
I feel that.
Like yeah, I think that is, and also stepping into what your purpose are. Like not even that big purpose word, but doing what you love, because
Hmm.
then I think you are a human being that brings a lot of joy to the world, and you're gonna get that mirrored back. And if everybody does a little bit of inner work here and there, then we might not have any wars anymore. So I'm all here for that.
Fingers crossed. That would be
But I
ideal.
think the meaning of life is probably, like you also said, presence. To be
Yeah.
present with what is and to enjoy and soak up the moment, because that moment you'll never get back. And we always try to be somewhere else, especially the digital nomads out there, including myself. So yeah, being where you are, and enjoying what it is, what the country potentially or your life has to offer at that moment.
Yeah.
Because one blink of an eye, it could be completely different.
It's happened more than once in mine. Blink of an eye,
And
it
more
all
than once in
changes.
mine. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. But yeah, I feel what you're saying in that just not having a purpose as such, but doing what you love, as we talked about at the start. When you're in that space, you're more energetic, you're more flowing, so you are going to make the world better around you. So
Exactly.
it kind of it interlinks, it flows together. So yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. And last one from me um, is what is your question for the next person that I get to have a fun chat with?
Ooh,
So you don't know who
I'm
they are,
this is this is such
and
a plain one, but where are you living and why is that the place for you?
ooh, yeah, definitely a nomad,
Because
aren't you?
yeah, I am. And I'm just so curious where somebody is from, because I feel like that's immediate bonding. Like, oh, I've been to Australia. Oh, like that is really cool. And also, I'm just really curious. And I
Yes,
love um, chatting and connecting with people from all over the world. May that be online, because obviously I'm not traveling at the moment, or in person. Amazing. So that is my question.
awesome. That's going to be on the next one. Perfect. Thank you very much. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks so much for just coming on and chatting with me. It's been good. I've learned a lot, and you're just really fun. Your voice, honestly,
Thank
just it
you.
just sings for what you do. I love it.